plantations? First of all, I would like to make some introductions about the agency. First, the agency name is Lamson Plantation Sendirian Berhad and located at Lahada to Sabah. Lamson Plantations divided two divisions, which is KL Estate and KK Estate. Lamson Plantations have 6 staff including 2 managers, 4 assistant managers, and 10 field supervisors. They also have 6 staff at office administrations. The estate have 800 general workers and not including at oil mill. Lamson Plantations provide facilities such as house, electricity, water supply, clinic, and school for all workers. And the advantage is this is free.
The first activities during our industrial training at Lamson Sendirian Berhad was the use of weedicides in nursery. The equipment and materials used to carry this activity are 16 liters of knapsack sprayer and weedicide, which is thicker and perspex. The first procedure for the use of weedicide in nursery is the workers must to be equipped with personal protective equipment or PPE such as mask, apron, rubber gloves, long pants, and boots. Second, check the sprayer first if there is no leak before mixing the weedicide. Third, fill up to half of the sprayer with water, then add 30 ml of sticker and 150 ml of perspex, and finally add the water again so that all the materials are well mixed. Fourth, when applying a weedicide, make sure to use the clean water to prevent the nozzle from clogging. The last procedure is when the grass is high, first step on it and then spray the weedicide to prevent it from being exposed to the seedlings. The second activity that we did at the nursery is the culling. Why do we have to do the culling? Because we want to ensure that only the most uniform and vigorous palms that likely to give the highest yield are planted in the field. The equipment used to conduct the culling activity is just a chisel. First of all, the procedure is laid on the seedling on the ground. Then, cut off the oil palm stem at the base using a chisel. Secondly, remove the oil palm seedling and scatter the soil from the polybag.
The activity that I will present is 6 of maintenance activity we have done at the Lamson Plantations. They are including harvesting, replanting, trunk injections, manuring, spraying, and last is pest and disease. We're going to talk of harvesting. Harvesting is one of major activity in oil palm, and at Lamson, activity of harvesting doing everyday block by block. Some of season that we know as musim buah, the FFB will take a long time to harvest per block because a lot of fruit are produced at once. So, we're going to talk is the procedure of harvesting. First of all is we need to identify a ripe fruit bunch. How? We look at the 7 or 10 loosened fruit on the ground of palm. Second, we need to remove frond below the ripe bunch and use a bush knife to cut the frond into 2 parts. Then put the fronds that has been cut beside the oil palm tree. Third is the V-shape or flat-shape cutting technique. Cut the bunch stalk as short as possible, maximum 2 cm. 4 is collect all the loose fruit to the platform by using the pong case and place them separately beside the fruit bunch. Then collect and transport the harvest bunch to the platform by using a wheelbarrow, stack them into a row. Then, on the cut edge of the stack, mark the fresh fruit bunch with the carpenter's pencils. And 3 workers of driver lorry will carry the FFB to transport to oil mill. Next, I want to talk about replanting. Replanting is process of replace old palm to new palm. First of all, the workers will transport healthy and new seedling at the field. Second, prepare the hole and fertilizer and the planting holes with dimensions of 55 cm times 55 cm times 55 cm should be dug using an auger for holing procedures. In order to facilitate initial root penetrations, the holes should be dug 50 cm deeper than the height of the polybag. Third is insert first fertilizer before planting the oil palm seedling. With 500 grams of guano must be added to each planting hole to reduce the risk of ganoderma disease. Third is by using a hoe, turn off the polybag, then carefully place the seedling into the planting hole and placing it in a stable position. Then add 200 grams of rock phosphate CRIP and then fill the hole with soil and compact it using a hoe. Finally, after planting, then hanging the plastic fertilizer on the leaves of the tree as the mark to the tree has been fertilized. Next activity is strong injections. The purpose of this activity is treated major oil palm that have been injected with Ganoderma bonians. First, we need to ready the tools such palm, water, injections, hoe, knife, ingano, and drill. Then, fill half of the 16-liter knapsack sprayer with water, then measure 80 ml of ingano 211 by using a syringe and put it in a sprayer containing water, then add water again so that all the material are well mixed. Then identify the tree with symptom of Ganoderma and remove the rotten trunk of the oil palm by using a scissors to facilitate the drilling process. Next is drill a hole at 45 degrees on the oil palm trunk using a hand drilling machine. Each of the trunk need contain 4 holes. Make a cycle weeding before starting to spray at the base oil palm. The important part is inject 200 ml of mixed material from the sprayer into each hole using a syringe. Last, the treated oil palm tree was labeled with white paint. The next activity is manuring. Manuring is the process of adding natural or chemical source of nutrients for the palm by sowing around the tree. The process is so simple, just the workers fill the bucket with fertilizer on the farm tractor, which transport the fertilizer from the store to the farm. Then, spread uniformly at the interrow and over the front ships using muriate of potash fertilizer with a broadcast technique used. The total amount of fertilizer used for each oil palm was 1.5 kg per small bowl. The next activity is spraying cycle and fade. When the weeds are at the higher of the ankle, it is necessary to spray them to make the manure task easier and to observe bunch if the pest is not attacked. The process of this activity just fill up to the half of the 16-liter napchat sprayer with the water. Add 119 ml of the monic and 20 ml of the sticker, then spray wash fill with more water until it was full. Second, remove all vegetations and then keep the nozzle above the ground steadily and low, then walk around the palm to spray the weed side in the area of the cycle. Next activity that we have done is activity of P&D maintenance, which also known as pest and disease. The purpose of this activity is minimize the outbreak of insect pests such as rhinoceros beetle and backworms that can reduce oil palm yield. The process of this activity is just fill up to half of the 16-liter knapsack sprayer with the water, add 100 ml of cyper and 20 ml of the sticker, then sprayer wash fill with more water until it was full. And the last is point out the nozzle towards the base of leaves and shoots of the palm. The last activity that we have done on limestone plantations is rats baiting. The purpose of rats baiting is to minimize the populations of rats that can cause severe harm to the palm and cause losses to the plantations. The activity is just need to place 2 granules of the bait on the left and the right side behind the front on the palm trunk.
The activity that we carried out at the limestone mill is to monitor the processing of palm oil. This is an overview of the processing of palm oil, and I will explain all these 8 important points in crystal clear start from the bunch reception until the kernel silo. First of all, the bunch reception. The fresh fruit bunches or FFB arrives from the field either in a bunch or in a loose fruit. A large installations use weight bridges to weight the FFB in the truck. The FFB transport by the trucks or farm tractors to the loading ramp. Second, the bunch sterilization. One conventional sterilizer can load up to 13 kgs. The duration of each conventional sterilizer was approximately 123 minutes at a temperature 140 degrees Celsius and a pressure of 41 psi. Third, the bunch threshing. The process of removing fruits from the bunch was carried out by the thresher drum. The rotational speed of the thresher drum is 24 rpm per minute. Fourth, the food digestion. The digestion of the fruits at high temperature to destroy the exocarp. Fifth, the pulp pressing. After pressing by a screw palm oil press, the oil palm is divided into 2 parts. The mixture of oil, water, and solid impurities, and the other part is the fiber and nut. The fiber and nut can be used as fuel of the boiler or sent to the palm kernel recovery station for getting palm kernel. 6. The oil clarification. This process is carried out to separate the oil from its entrained impurities, and require reheating to destroy all germs and bacteria. The temperature is between 90 until 92 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, the kernel plant. This is a station that runs the process of separating nuts, stones, and sand. Then, the kernel was collected and broken down to separate the kernel from its shell. Lastly, the kernel silo. The purpose of the kernel silo is to reduce the moisture content of the kernel before moving to the refill mill. The conclusion is, through participating 5 weeks in an industrial training at Lamson Sendirian Berhad, we have gained a lot of knowledge and skills related to the field of study. In addition, we have also able to explain the industrial training experiences by oral and written presentation, and also able to show a professional attitude towards work and responsibility. We highly recommend that the agency always have an industrial training offer for DPIN Sabah students for each semester, in order to ensure that they are easily to find an industrial training places that provide a range of facilities such as accommodation, transport, and even allowances.